Hello and welcome to episode 171 of the Talking Wednesday podcast. It's Dex, Punk and Worko here for you today to take you through everything Sheffield Wednesday. But before we do that, let's do the odd 20-minute ramble. We'll try and not make it 20 minutes this time. But Punk, how has your week been, my friend?
It was good up until Thursday. Wednesday night. I did my back in, so it's not been great. So I'm a bit under the weather, trying to get myself sorted. And especially now, I got Hunter now can crawl and crawl fast, and I don't like it, lads. I don't like it at all in the slightest. I'm having to put things. You both seen my house and how the front room's set up, so you know where all my game consoles are. I'm in the process of going, where the hell do I shove these? Because I'm going to start getting blueberry and biscuits shoved into these if I'm not careful. So I'm in that kind of...
I would move everything high. That's what I would do in your situation, because they are way too low down for small baby at the minute.
That is basically what I'm going to be doing in the next couple of days, hopefully move it around. But apart from that, it's been good.
When I was little, my dad's really into hi-fi, right? And he's always been, it's probably where I got a lot of the audio things from. And I squished a pear into the top vents of one of his hi-fi systems when it was younger, when I was younger, apparently. So you don't want that to happen to you.
Well, have you seen the Reddit story, the bloke who went to turn his Xbox Series X on and his little boy had put blueberries in the top vents and just smashed them all into the top vents. God. And he turned it on and it just fizzled and died.
I need to open my Series X now. It's starting to make some noises.
You need to clean that.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's just I can hear the fans a lot more, and I'm like, let's be honest though, the console's 4 years old now.
Yeah, it's 4 years.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, so it's a case. I think I just need to open it up and get some compressed air in there. To be honest, it doesn't look too difficult to do. So I'll have a look at it. But yeah, do you want to finish off, Jake, before I rudely interrupted you?
Yeah, it's all right, mate. I've just been dealing with that, getting some other things sorted. It's been a busy week on the channel. This time of year always is though. And I like this time of year because, when you do the kind of channels that we do, which are football related, sometimes you get to a bit where it dies. And but what I've noticed, it doesn't seem to die that off that much in a Wednesday sense. I think when we start doing pre-season, it will. But it's really interesting because people go, oh, you'll have a break in the summer. I don't have a break until that first international break in September.
No, summer's actually the best time to have content. Yeah. But believe it or not, in terms of you've got so much more to talk about. And I have to do so much more editing because there's player links, things like that. So breakouts come back. It's actually the busiest time when you do a pod.
It's ridiculous. But apart from that, it's been good. I'm just praying my back come back to some sort of normality some point this week because it's doing me head in.
Oh, that's good, mate. Sorry to hear about your back. Old man with his back issues now. You added to the list.
I am sat in the chair because it's comfy as hell, as you know.
It's great. It is great. However, I have just noticed, the reason I was staring into the camera weirdly there, something is happening in this room. I think it might be me moving around or something, but the camera just started wobbling. So I apologize for the video watched of this podcast. I don't know what's happened there.
You got poltergeist.
Something. Yeah, but it looked quite still, the camera. So I was like, why is the lens wobbling? But we're fine. Worko / Jack. How's your week been, mate?
Jack.
Worko / Jack. Nice. Yeah, it's been okay. I'm having that really smug feeling where, when things are starting to pay off and loads of people sort of were constantly on your back a little bit, sort of going, you might not be able to do this. That sort of stuff. Yeah, it's great. Great. And I just find it really funny as well that people skip the first 20 minutes because I'm sorry that we don't have some sort of section that you can skip to where it's I've made millions on bloody Patreon selling my uwu bathwater for $7.99 a month. I'm sorry that isn't part of this podcast, but unfortunately, that's kind of what you do. You generally have a bit of a chat for the first 20 minutes when you live as far apart as we do, and we're mates. We have a chat to have a catch up, and you know what? What we talk about is kind of entertaining actually when we're having a bit of a conflab at the beginning. So I'm sorry if you just want to skip right ahead for that dopamine rush of the important information right now immediately because you can't read a newspaper article's contents. You just want the thumbnail and the bloody title and that's it. Sorry, but like we're living.
Sorry, you've come to this Sheffield Wednesday podcast for us to talk about Sheffield Wednesday. Yes. How dare you?
How dare you want to skip right ahead to the Wednesday bits and not for us? We're the content here. You can look at all the newspapers if you want the direct news. We are the content. It is us. It is our personalities that you listen for. So, shush. Anyway, yes, I've been okay. Great. Yes. I'm riding high on that wave of feels like things are paying off, you know?
No, that's good, mate. That's good.
How are you, James?
It'd be really awkward if Fallout London bomb now. It'd be really awkward if Fallout London bomb now, wouldn't it?
You know what? It's actually got a release date that's not been published yet, but it has been teased. So it's finally like that's one of the things that's I'm like, yes,
that'll be fun.
Finally, and yes,
that'll be good, mate. How has my week been? It's been all right. I've started exercising quite religiously, which is unfortunate. Working some long hours in the week now, but it's okay. You know, I'm finding a bit of a balance. Been quite tired, but I've like the way we're doing these podcasts at the minute as well is kind of like I'm going to come in quite energized because we have a lie-in, and so I think it's going to be quite fun to do these over summer. And then obviously the Euros kicks off.
God,
got my dad coming round for the first one. God, that England game.
I mean, I've not been watching it out of principle because I just think that Gareth Southgate is long overdue.
Gareth Southgate really Gareth Southgated last night. It was, it was bad. It was bad.
We've got effectively the most promising squad of English of players that could play some stupidly, ridiculously good attacking football, and we're trying to nick every game 1-0.
The problem we've got that I saw last night is because I know it's the friendlies and I know he's trying different things out, but I bloody hope the training sessions work because what we seemed to lack last night was cohesion. It was like we had all these players that were skilled trying to play first-time passes and things like that, which is what you want from your players, but they'd not played together enough to read it. And you do need that side of it. You need the squad with some experience in there as well. I'm happy he's picked off form. I would argue he's not picked off as much form as people are saying he has. But yeah, for me, it's been a bit like Capello really controversial because I know Grealish hasn't played a lot this season, but for me, and this is probably like that's a terrible take. For me, oh God, this is going to be a terrible take because I could see this backfiring. But at the present minute, I'd prefer to have. Oh God, I don't even know if I believe myself when I say this. Grealish in the squad over Gordon. For me.
Okay.
I rate Gordon, but I feel like in terms of those players that know each other, and in terms of someone like Grealish, who just always seems to be able to unlock something, and he's shown he can do it on an England stage, I understand, but he has sat on the bench for most of the season, so I do understand it as well.
The one player when I always see him get picked every time, Pickford, I don't see what Pickford does in net.
No, I do. I absolutely do. That's the thing where I disagree. I think Pickford's our best keeper. If you saw Ramsdale last night, he just doesn't command well enough.
Yeah, but Ramsdale played, hasn't he?
Exactly. So who else do you take?
Yeah.
I mean, Ramsdale for me is just still riding high off a terrible Sheffield United team. And that's, but yeah.
He was all right for Arsenal in his first season.
Yeah. His first season was good. He just not been able to keep it. I think either played
his whole career since then has been a bit of a whoops, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Remember the old.
I will say something though. One thing, because the last time we spoke was before the Champions League final, and Dortmund should have won that by a country mile.
It's Real Madrid.
But if Real Madrid do what Real Madrid do, but I loved what Bellingham said about in one of his interviews in the semi-final, said, I don't like playing as a number 10, but the modern footballer these days has to play multiple positions. So when we do transfers and we say you can play this, and people go, no, we need a dedicated person.
Oh, no, but we should sign a right back to be a right back, Sharon. We don't want one of these utility players that play bloody everywhere. Jack of all trades and master of none. No. That's, yeah.
Thing is, we played
gone.
Foden centrally last night, which is what we've been asking for a lot more, And that's the thing for me. It's like, I rate Gordon, by the way. I'd take him as well as Grealish. It's just that I just feel like, who would you have taken Grealish and dropped somebody else?
I'm more of a,
yes.
Because that's the one that stands out for me.
Possibly, yeah, just because it gives you something can unlock different things in a position. He's that kind of player you can take off the bench and go, look, we need you to unlock something. We haven't got a goal here. Can you make something work? I don't see us having anyone with that kind of energy. Does that make sense?
That's the thing for me. He's the person that can come on and change a game if you let him play. I know he's been ruined a little bit by Pep and made him more disciplined, so he's lost some of his, what we loved about him. But it's still there, and I think he could play that for England. So for it, because if we look at that,
hey, IB for just happy they got him on a season-long loan for the summer.
I mean, to be fair,
it's hard
rather
because
than Gordon,
you look at it.
I'm more of a Flying Scotsman or a Mallard fan rather than Gordon myself. Maybe even Henry. Yeah, that's.
Well, the forwards we've taken are Jared Bowen, Eze, who deserves a space, by the way. Eze is quality. Foden, Gordon, Kane, Palmer, Saka, Ivan Toney, and Ollie Watkins. What I would have done is I would have potentially... Ollie Watkins was woeful in that first friendly, by the way. I don't know if you watched the first one.
Yeah.
I'd have potentially not taken all three strikers, and I would have taken... I wouldn't have actually dropped Gordon, because I think Gordon offers quite a bit. But I'd have risked it with two strikers, because let's be honest, nobody's starting above Harry Kane anyway. I'd have took Kane and Toney, and I'd have put Grealish instead of Watkins.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right, actually.
Or
first Southgate picks the whole bloody beige cardigan outfit, and now he's taking these proper off left field choices in terms of the players.
Yeah, but
is he going full hipster?
But it's because he's
now?
been told.
What's going on?
Because he's been told in the past you're meant to pick players on form. So he's now picking players on form.
Yeah.
If you look at our midfield, it's Alexander-Arnold, Bellingham, Conor Gallagher, Kobe Mainoo, Declan Rice, and Adam Wharton. I actually think you could have left Gallagher there and took Grealish as an extra forward. Because, for me, if you play in three, I actually think you play... He probably won't play Foden centrally like he did last night, but you play Foden centrally, you play Bellingham deeper, and you play Rice. But then again, Trent has been exceptional the past two games. So do you play... For me, he plays... It's a difficult one.
It's hard.
The Grealish one was the thing that stuck out for me, because if you need a player to come on, and I've never seen a player win so many fouls, and when set pieces are crucial in tournaments, to winning tournaments, that for me is going to be a thing when you need somebody to basically come on and fall over a lot, but do it in the proper way. It's Grealish.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think if you look at that entire thing, Adam Walton's rise since Blackburn to Palace has been incredible. And I think we can find more of those kind of players down like EFL level and then raise them up to go there. It shows that you can challenge now, which is something that's nice to see, because for the longest time, you couldn't challenge unless you were in the top six in clubs. There are 4 Crystal Palace players in that team, and that's how it should be. Everybody should be able to get in. It shouldn't be the top.
Oh, by the way, wasn't Elise eligible for England? I swear he played for England at youth level.
He did, yes.
Yeah.
But now is he pledged to France?
I think he pledged to France, yeah.
Oh, no, he didn't. No. He played for France at youth level.
France?
Oh.
Michael Elise, because I swear he was always English on like FIFA and stuff, but now, no, he's fully, he did play for the French.
I think he was a Reading Academy product.
He was born in Hammersmith.
Yeah. Literally.
So it's
Reading Academy product. He's chosen France for whatever reason.
Question for you lads then, if we're going on the Euro bit. Which games do we think Danny's going to be doing punditry on? And he's 100% doing
I think he'll be on the opening.
I think he's 100% on the opening game.
Yeah, Germany, Scotland. Yeah.
Anything that probably puts Germany against a British Isles nation. if you will.
Or just
So
just the Germany side that I think because he's part of ITV. I think any Germany side that's on ITV.
Yeah.
The thing
Any
is,
Germany game that's on ITV.
Yeah.
the thing is, people has gone, oh, is he doing the entire tournament? And I originally went, no, of course he's not. But I forgot something. We're doing pre-season in Germany.
Yes.
Yeah, we've got a whole stint of pre-season in Germany.
So I wonder if he's going to have something
that's
he might
why
be able
it's
to
there, I think.
Yeah.
That's why we've gone to Germany. Yeah. I reckon he'll do Friday.
Yeah.
He'll do Germany, Scotland. He'll probably do quite a bit, to be fair.
Mm.
And then when's Germany's second game? They've got the Wednesday. It's Germany, Hungary. So he won't do that because it's on BBC.
And also, what date is that?
19th of June.
And if you think about it, he wants to play it back on the 28th. So it won't surprise me if he's back doing some bits and pieces.
I don't think he'd just do one game though. I reckon I reckon he will do.
I think you just hit the nail on that. The reason we're doing Germany preseason.
Yeah, exactly. Switzerland, Germany is on BBC again. So I don't know. He'll probably be utilised on other games. He'll definitely be on that first one, you'd think.
Yeah.
And then it just depends where else they utilise him. And if we get
as long as we don't have a Guff Poyet situation, I'm fine. Kind of thing.
It'll be fine. Does
Jack know the Guff Poyet situation?
I assume it's something about him getting.
He found out that he was sacked live on TV or something.
That's the one.
Was that it? Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was going to be more positive than that. No, I don't think Chansiri could possibly do that. Please don't do that.
He wouldn't do that.
Okay, anyway. No. Let's get into the Sheffield Wednesday section, shall we? There you go. There's your timestamp that I'm not putting in. So, yes, starting us off on the Wednesday stuff today, we are going to be returning to pre-season. He wants them back around the 28th, which is... The thing is, though, will Danny Rule be at Owls in the Park? Because it's tradition sort of for the manager to be at Owls in the Park. If he's out in Germany doing the
I think he
coverage...
will be. I think he'll be back. I think he'll be back in the UK for that first little bit of getting player back in and meeting them. Kind of thing.
Well, that would make sense because that's after the groups, right?
Yeah.
So that's after the groups, but before the knockouts, I believe, or just around the first knockouts. So be interesting. But yeah, Owls in the Park. I've not decided if I'm going yet. I probably will. So we'll see what happens there. Excuse me, I'm going to yawn. That's so unprofessional. But there we go. Yeah, so we've got Owls on the Park on the 29th. I think we mentioned that. But he will be part of the ITV panel, so Rull might not be there. But I remember the last Owls in the Park, Steve Bruce was there, and then he sodded off shortly after.
I think he got to be. If you're not at Owls in the Park, it's too big of an own goal to not do it. You have to be there.
I hope they actually fully reduce the shirts like they did last time, because that's usually...
What, reduce the price of the old shirts?
Yeah, because that's where I used to always pick up the shirts. I used to just always go to Owls in the Park. No, I don't think they will either.
I also don't want them to release the new shirt on the day because it always goes wrong. We don't have the staff to run the Megastore when we do it on the day. Also,
why isn't our shirt out yet if we're still Macron? Because all the other Macron shirts appear to be.
I reckon it'll be out next week.
Yeah, potentially.
I wonder if there's some sort of sponsorship that still needs tying up the loose ends on the deal.
That could make sense.
Are you on about could it be Thursday dating? And they keep hinting.
You know what's actually? This is a bit of a side note, but I've actually been on that app before, and it's very strange. It's very odd. It's very eclectic. It's very out there. You can only use it on a Thursday. It locks you out of using it on every other day of the week. And you can only use it and interact with people on a Thursday each week. That's it.
That's really weird.
That is odd.
It's very, very strange.
I'll give them credit. They are sticking to the brand, I guess.
And it's really funny, actually. There's basically nobody on it because it's so out there and like not very well known at the moment.
So that's a perfect sponsorship for us then.
Yeah.
Obscure and no one uses it. Brilliant.
Compared to where I live, I had to do a 60-mile radius in all directions to actually
I wouldn't
find
put your
any
finger
users
like
on
that.
it.
Take your finger down.
Luckily, it didn't go close enough.
Oh no! Oh no! I just was it representing a certain spicy Austrian painter from the 19th? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the way your hand was going as well. I was like, what are you doing?
I had to do like a 65-mile radius all around where I am to be able to find users on it. So it's clearly looking for a big stage to say, please use us outside of London. But that's anyway. So I've actually, it is a legitimate thing. It's not just a random ass Twitter account trying to get funny likes.
Well, it wasn't even a Twitter account. It was on LinkedIn as well, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, they did it on LinkedIn, and then Josh Windass liked it, which was even funnier.
Keep talking. My headphone's gone.
Nice. Yeah, Josh Windass liked the post. And
He did
why
like the post, didn't it? And so people were actually on Twitter like saying, hey, you need to email this person at the club. It's like, okay, people actually are trying to help with this one. It was odd.
It's just proper like housery, isn't it? It's classic. It's so in the wheelhouse of the like sense of humor of the Sheffield Wednesday fan base.
It's also very Wednesday to have just this weird obscure sponsor. We seem to do it all the time.
It's nice to know that it's a national brand now and not just some random obscure thing from Sheffield and Sheffield alone.
True.
Like it's such a
let's hope it actually gets signed off by the company this time.
Oh yeah, and doesn't have to get changed halfway through because the CAO realizes that they're sponsoring Sheffield Wednesday and didn't even know that for the first half of the season beforehand.
To know how
Allegedly,
that email chain happened as well.
Yeah.
Have you seen this shirt? Oh, that's our logo, our company.
Wait,
I know.
That's our company. What's going on? Why are we on that football shirt? Oh, you mean somebody lower down the chain signed off on it and didn't tell the higher ups? Oh, okay. Yeah, that would have been quite an interesting little exchange, wouldn't it?
Yep.
I just would love that though. Like, it's just too funny. It's just too like, yeah.
So the worrying thing is that wasn't the headphone. That was my eardrum.
Oh God.
Oh God.
You're right.
But good. Yeah, fine. I was like, oh dear, that's interesting.
Oh, well.
Goes deaf on podcast. But,
well, I guess that when you get hearing aids, we know who's going to be surviving the Quiet Place scenario, don't we? Spoiler alert for if you haven't seen that movie.
I've not actually. Thanks for ruining that.
Yeah. Okay.
I've started watching films again as well.
Oh.
Why do we say movie in this country? It's a film.
No idea.
My sister does it as well.
It's the Americanization
It's
of
the
our
American way of
vocabulary.
doing it.
Exactly. I know it is, but it's a film.
The Yankee Doodle Dandies.
Films are still shot on film mainly as well. So it's a film. Right.
Yeah.
Enough of that. It's looking like Cameron Dawson's leaving Sheffield Wednesday, boys. So how do we feel about this? Jake?
I think it's the right thing for him to do. I think he's been here a long time and he's at an age where he needs to be a number one. He needs to be a number one keeper elsewhere. He can't keep being on the bench. He's a very good keeper at League One, League Two. And you could say he had a little bit of chances at Championship, but I think it's time for him to go play elsewhere, be a number one. He's been here for the longest time in terms of since he was a kid. You've got the thing that he's done what most Wednesday fans want to do, which he played for his boyhood club. And the other thing is, it will feel weird though. This will be the first time in a very long time we don't have any keepers who were from the actual academy who come through when they were kids, kind of thing. Because Joe and
because Charles was obviously from Man City, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think the only one that is probably the other one under Charles. I've forgotten his name. Jack Hall, that's it. So it'll feel really weird seeing a squad and not seeing Dawson's name. But I think it's the right thing to do. He needs a new challenge. And I say good luck to him. He's always put a shift in when he's been in a Wednesday shirt. And good luck to him. He's always welcome back at Hillsborough.
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of agree, really. Like, it's the best thing for him personally, because I don't really think that he's suiting Danny's system very well, because if he did, he would have been playing more games when Beadle came in. And I I just think it's the right thing to do. A bit like it was for Joe, really. It's sad to see him go, but I think with everyone's been saying it, that with the rebuild under Danny, we need to be a bit ruthless. And yes, he was offered a new deal, but it's also understandable that he wouldn't be maybe on the high priority list for game time or whatever else. And he does, at his age, deserve to be the number one, because he's proven time and time again now, with the last handful of seasons, that he's well and truly good enough to be a number one and deserves better than just being a bench cup keeper.
He definitely does deserve it, because
if one of the clubs wanting promotion from League One want to keep it, he's the ideal.
What I was just about to say actually was, because Wildsmith's left Derby to look for other things, what if Dawson goes to Derby?
I mean, look, they take all of our bloody chants. They might as well take our bloody cast-offs as well now. They might as well be the second Rotherham.
Can you imagine if we literally do something in the sense of he goes there and Wildsmith comes back?
I don't think I don't see Wildsmith as our number one though, because I did rate Wildsmith, but I always rated Wildsmith actually over Dawson, by the way, originally. I thought he was the better. He had the better. I thought he could be the better keeper, to be fair. It's just he had some shaky moments. We all remember when Barry Bannon turned to him and screamed at him in that relegation season.
That QPR game.
Yeah.
But I think we probably they both need to just stay away from Sheffield Wednesday for a while and have their careers. Charles is somebody I could see being our number one. So I think you need to focus on that.
Not this season for me, though.
Yes, he does need a loan.
Yeah.
I think if you look at the rebuild, it's loan Charles, bring a permanent or loan in Beadle, and then a backup.
Yeah, which we'll get to a little bit later on. So yeah, let's actually move on to another player that's out of contract.
Meltdown over that that we're going to talk about in a bit is really funny. But anyway, yes.
Yeah. Dijon Bernard is still one that's up in the air. Do we think it's going to happen?
This is doing my head in now. I say walk away. He's doing a Luongo. I say sod him and walk away and find a new player. Like,
we definitely need to plan around it, don't we? And you hope that we are doing that, and you think we are doing that.
Like he is. It's taking the mick. Like, sorry, it's.
I know he is playing in a tournament, but yeah,
it's a difficult one because you can find other Bernards. We've shown that we can, and my issue is personally. Is if he doesn't actually want to be here and he's shopping us around for a new deal, that doesn't look good on him. It looked bad on the agent, where it might not be him doing it. It could be the agent. We got to have a cut-off point where we go, look, are you wanting to be here or not? Because we need to make a decision. We can't have you playing a group game on July the 3rd or getting close to that and us having not in a deal. It wouldn't surprise me if the 28th we find out if that's done or not, and then it's done.
Yeah. No, I could see that. It needs to be sorted because the centre back is crucial. With Iorfa getting offered another deal, I think that one's probably going to happen. Iorfa's actually on holiday at the minute, so you think when he comes back that will be sorted? I think that will be sorted. I think Windass is going to get sorted. Let's talk about Windass for a second. It looks likely that Windass is going to sign a year's deal, actually. So, are you happy with that, Jake?
Yeah, I am happy with a year deal. I think it worked well. I think with that, you got to take into account that I think we're doing now where you hit 30 and you either get a year and a year option, or you get a year and that's it. And I think we've been needed to do that for a while.
Yes. And I think it's also a case of, I think that it's testament to him that it seems like other clubs were in for him, but he wants to stay and work under Danny Rull. There was a video yesterday of him training with Barry Bannon on Twitter. So he's very much. I think Windass has really taken to the club, and we've taken to him. So Jack, what do you feel about Windass getting another year if he signs it?
It's a no-brainer. Like if Liam Palmer and Bannon retire well before him, I can honestly see him being the next one to take over the captain's armband if both of them end up like retiring or whatever at the same sort of time.
You see that then you see him sort of like doing
he's got that leadership mentality
new
though.
Contracts.
Yeah, he's got that leadership and team first mentality now though. And he didn't used to have that when he was at like previous clubs, but this is the club where he's kind of adopted that mindset and he's actually realized that that's the way to go. And I think arguably as well, maybe we wouldn't have signed certain players into the club if it wasn't for Windass, Palmer and Bannon sort of taking new prospective signings under the wing or whatever and just sort of explaining what the club's all about and what it means to play for the club. And if we lose him, then we lose a bit of that factor as well. And like, yes, we've still got Bannon and Palmer now, but they're 35 or 34 and 33 respectively. Like that, they're not going to be here much longer because we know the lifespan of a footballer in terms of their career. It's about 35-ish and then they retire. So
you need the people you do need the people
like,
that get the club and get what the club's
trying to do. We need the younger players,
and
yes, but we still need some experience and some stalwarted kind of leaders in the squad to pull everybody together, because without that it all falls apart. And it's very rare that you see a much younger player with that sort of mindset. And I just think we'd be a big miss without Windass, really, because look at how there was a stat, wasn't there? It was like we were 10 goals better off with him in the squad than without. But it was something. It was something.
Yeah,
like that.
He has been crucial to us in big moments as well. That's the thing about him. And speaking of big misses, I had the perfect segue, but then Jake had parenting issues. So we are now, there's a cut in this podcast. We're going to move on to something that is...
kids there, who'd have them?
I know, right? It could be a sad situation for Sheffield Wednesday. This is from the Star. Future of Sheffield Wednesday star very up in the air amid contract talks. The future of Sheffield Wednesday's award-winning midfielder Will Vaulks is hanging in the balance. Vaulks played a huge part in the Owls' great escape last season, featuring 34 times over the course of the campaign for 3 different managers, and he went on to be voted the fans' player of the season. He also won the English Football League Players in the Community Award for 2024. It was confirmed last month that the 30-year-old was one of 7 players to be offered a new deal at Hillsborough as his current contract comes to an end. However, the Star understands that while talks are ongoing, the involved parties aren't close to an agreement as things stand. The player is believed to be eager to stick around and add to his 91 appearances in Wednesday colours after helping them to dramatic promotion and safety campaigns in his 2 years at the club. However, there is tempting interest from elsewhere should the Owls not do enough to secure his future at Hillsborough. And leading on from this article, it's looking like Oxford are really keen. It's looking very much like he is going to go to Oxford from what we can read. Yeah, it could be so much as he is gone. And Jack, how does this one make you feel?
I can sort of understand it in a way, because if we're going down the route of my theory, which is that Chansiri possibly may have had a sit-down talk with Hansi Flick when he came over to watch Danny, he may have explained how things work at clubs like Bayern Munich with, like, if you're 30 years, and I think Chelsea operate a bit like this, and the top 6 do, where if you're 30, you are given a 1-year deal with an option to extend it, and that is that. There is no other way around it. Regardless of what your game time will be, that is all you're given, and that is that. And I just wonder if this is the approach we've taken with Will Vaulks now, because he's 30, and he's wanting more years on his deal than what Wednesday are willing to offer him. Which I can understand. Like, I can also see him not being the preferred first choice in that position, because of maybe there's other players that are more suitable to Danny's sort of system with more agility and that are a bit quicker in reaction times and like off the ball and stuff. Because at times this season as well, I've thought that while he did a great job, don't get me wrong, he still didn't seem as not athletic, but like agile, I'd say, as some of the other teams that press a lot. Like Danny wants us to play. And I think he's possibly one of the players that Danny had to change things around when Bannon was talking in that post-match interview about the team having to change certain things to fit the players that we had. And so I can understand him going to a team like Oxford because I think he'd fit their system a lot more. Because he's a very similar player, actually, to Cameron Brannigan.
Sorry, carry on.
So I guess, he'd fit that system quite well.
For me, he's... I know this is again going to be a controversial one with the fan base, but for me, Vaulks is very replaceable. Probably not as a personality, but as a player, I feel like we can replace him. So for me, I'm not going to be as gutted as quite a few people in the fan base would be about this, because I back the management structure and I back the coaching staff and what we're trying to do at the club. So if he doesn't want to sign a 1-year deal, he's been offered the contract. If he wants security, that's fine. Drop to Oxford. Did Oxford get promoted?
Yeah, they won the League One playoff final. Because we all got the joy of watching Fogden cry in the stand. Glorious.
Oh yeah, I remember now. They'd be. I think it would be a quality signing for Oxford. Jake, you give us your insight on this.
Yeah, Jeb.
If you see it in what Oxford are doing, they need a championship experienced midfielder. That's what he is. Now, I've seen everyone going a bit overboard and meltdown online and going, "Oh, what are we doing?" It's the sentimentality side of it again that coming through, because he was part of that promotion team. Yep. And here's the thing, I get it, I understand it. You don't want to rip that team apart, but that team is going to get ripped apart. It doesn't matter if he was part of the thing. And if you actually looked at him when he played, I think it was Southampton. It might have been Southampton at their place. There's a bit where he goes for a tackle, doesn't get it, and he just melodering back. And that's not the kind of player Danny wants. But it won't be anything to do with the bloke personality. We know what he's like. He's a lovely bloke off the pitch. He gets on with everyone. He does a lot of stuff for charity. If I've seen some people go mercenary, it's like, he's not that. This is all to do. We probably offered him less years than he wants. And they're probably offering him 2 years instead of the 1 year. You go, thank you for your service. Enjoy your time at Oxford. And that's it. It happens. And I think we have got to be careful as a fan base not to get too sentimental with some of these players because of what they did.
I am surprised to hear you say that, actually, Jake, because if I recall back to our awards ceremony, me and Jack both went Palmer Player of the Year, but you did go Vaulks. You went with the community on that one. So to have you to say that, it must be you must be looking at it from quite a level-headed perspective.
I'm seeing it as a realistic kind of situation where, with how he played and how he's done, you've got to remember, he did do a bit of a Palmer where he had to fight for his place, and he came in, he did the job that Danny wanted to. But I think if you actually look at how Danny wants to play, like, you got the thing where you look at where his position is. What doesn't say that Liam Palmer don't go to be a CDM? What doesn't say that Iorfa, if he signed,
that's very true. I actually think Palmer could easily go in that midfield again. Yeah,
you've got that thing where you can get him coming back as a midfielder in that sense. So we're still probably going to be on the market.
And we're linked with Ajaria and stuff like that. If you're playing if you're playing some people in the midfield, we are linked with central midfielders. So yeah, I think I will say this. Can sit in that, as we've said before.
I will say this though. If you actually now look at our midfield via the Wednesday website, we have technically only got Marvin Johnson and Barry Bannon as what their class is recognised midfielders.
Yeah.
You remember when we said we needed more? You remember when we said we needed more midfielders, and we used to have a plethora of them, and we had too many. Well, we got the other way.
Vaulks will be a squad player. So if he goes, we're bringing in like 3 or 4 midfielders this summer. That has to be the thing.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a big thing there. I'd be very sad to see him go. But again, I wouldn't wish him any ill will. I think Oxford would be a great opportunity for him, because if he gets something like a 2 or 3 year deal from Oxford, he manages to keep him up, or even if he goes down with him, he could see quite a lot of his career out there, before and it's not dropping down, which he potentially would have to do if they weren't recently promoted. He potentially have to drop down to be a starting player, in my opinion.
All he got to get used to is playing at a 3-sided stadium.
Right. Okay.
Do you not remember Oxford's only got 3 stands?
No, mate.
Oh yeah.
I don't. I've tried to purge everything about League One out of my brain.
So if people
And now
haven't
the
remembered,
Championship, we will.
they got one side, and then the other side is a big car park.
All right, okay. Kind of like
at least
Wrexham
they've
with their
got a
temporary
bloody car
stand.
park, unlike them in Sheffield Wednesday. At least they've actually got parking facilities. Christ,
God, that really, really upset you, didn't it, Jack?
that just oh.
Oh, you got PTSD.
Let us know what you think about Will Vaulks potentially leaving / has left in the comments, guys.
The stress. The
Right,
absolute
this is from
stress of
this is
making
from
sure I
Radio
don't get
Sheffield.
fined
So
from anyway.
calm yourself.
That
Rob
Sainsbury's,
Staten.
other people, listeners will understand.
It's all right. I'll just do the podcast whenever you're ready, Jack.
Anyway, sorry.
It's all right. Carry on. Rant. No, it's fine. Don't carry on. I'll start the next topic when you're ready. I was being sarcastic. But I'll let
People
you
will
rant
know
now.
the
Go.
stress of that Sainsbury's car park, making sure that you haven't got a ticket, and the making sure that you actually get there in time for.
Why the hell did you park in Sainsbury's?
Because it's where else do you sodding park?
I've kind of got a cheat code because I've got families in.
I'm gonna say
Hillsborough,
you part.
Ooh, I've got
family's house.
family there. Great, good for you, James. We don't. Anyway, sorry. Yeah.
Just get the tram.
I was gonna make a joke there. I won't.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't, knowing your brain.
Yeah.
Radio Sheffield's Rob Staten has been saying that Sheffield Wednesday are looking to sign Ben Hamer. It actually looks very likely that he is already in talks, and it could even be done this, by the way. That was me adding on to that rather than what Rob Staten said. So Ben Hamer is a goalkeeper, and it's caused some, let's just say, some controversy within the fan base because people are like, why are we signing a 36-year-old keeper? We need to be looking for the future. He's going to be our number one sort of thing. He's cleared people saying he's not good enough, etc., etc., etc. When I would like to add, he made 19 appearances for Watford last season, right? So it's not like he's not been playing. I believe he is not coming in as our number one. If he is, it will be a stopgap. I believe it is a Stockdale situation through and through.
Yes.
It's worth mentioning, by the way, and I think I was actually, here we go, patting myself on the back. I think I was the first person to mention the Chris Powell link. He got promoted with Chris Powell, right? And the connection with Chris Powell probably means quite a lot, which means you've got a pre-existing relationship with a player coming in, which means it's probably more likely that he will be coming in just to do a job and sit on the bench. But Jake, go on, it's been doing your head in. Ben Hamer to Sheffield Wednesday.
Right. Can fans please understand this? That he's not coming in at 36 to probably be the first team goalkeeper. He's coming to be backup. He had been backup most of the rest of his career recently. He had been the backup keeper, and I think he knows he's going to be the backup keeper. Stop losing your mind over going, I thought we were meant to be getting younger players. We are, but goalkeeper is one of those positions where you can be a bit laxed on and get someone a bit older to be that kind of sit on the bench. If Scott Carson can sit on the bench at Man City and be 37, 38 and still get a medal at the end of it, Ben Hamer can sit on our bench and just help. And also, he got the link with Chris Powell. He also will work with Sal Babbo, our goalkeeping coach. There's your link. If you've got two people in there and a goalkeeping coach and an experienced keeper, it's like having two goalkeeping coaches for the younger lads. Just go with it. And trust what Danny's doing. And it's a free.
He still wants Beadle, by the way. I think that's what a lot of people are ignoring. He still wants Beadle. You bring Hamer through the door, and believe it or not, then we've got a goalkeeper because Dawson won't be sticking around. And we've got what? Charles, if he doesn't. So for me, Jack, this makes perfect sense. Do you think along the same lines potentially?
Yeah, totally agree. Sorry, Jake just for context, Jake just barreled out of that room, and
I think he's just woken his son up. Carry on.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. My dog nearly did.
Oh
right,
dear.
Okay.
But yeah, it's all well and good, all the gammons not using the one brain cell they have to realise that you can have a backup keeper. Oh, Sharon. Oh, I thought we were bringing age at squad down. Why are we signing a 34-year-old? Oh. We have 2 goalkeepers in the squad. There's one that sits on the bench and one that stands between the goalposts.
36, it's even worse, Jack.
36. Well, even so, Ben Hamer is known to be a housery merchant who is also very much a sweeper keeper that can play well with his feet and fits the model of Danny's system that he wants to play. What kind of expertise has always been useful to have on the bench and as part of the squad? A housery merchant who is also very wise and experienced. Look at David Stockdale. You know, like it's a no-brainer. And I don't really think that Cameron Dawson was old enough to be the like experienced goalkeeper to help squad morale and all that jazz and goalkeepers union and all that stuff.
He also very much didn't fit with Rule's system.
Yeah.
So this is a free transfer.
If he fitted with Rule's system, that he wouldn't have gone and got James Beadle straight away in January.
Exactly.
No. This is a free transfer that fits the bill. If we need to rely on him, we rely on him. He's a bloody capable, experienced keeper that if he ends up having to be on number 1, say we don't get Beadle, but say we do bring in a younger keeper or whatever, they get injured, things like that. You want somebody capable that's on your bench. And this seems like one of those signings. So for me, it's a no-brainer. Let's do the thing we always do. Jack can roll his eyes because he doesn't understand what this podcast is. His card on FIFA is a 66 rated silver with 67 diving, 61 handling, 65 kicking, 67 reflexes, 45 speed and 65 positioning. So he's not great, but there we go.
He's a backup.
He might be all right on UFL. Maybe I'll start reading out the UFL stuff at some point. But let us know what you think on Ben Hamer in the comments below.
You know when you get those like this meeting could have been an email. Well, this section could have been a short, James, for more content and views for you.
It's very true. Very true.
Just call me Matt Hayes because I'm fishing today.
And this host might not be a host much longer.
Your face should keep going from like, and we'll go. And you're like, shut up.
Do you know when you said you were like on top of the world with everything, Jackie? You're trying to make your world burn.
As Michael Caine said, some people, Master Bruce, just want to watch the world burn.
You might just... I don't know what happened to your accent in the middle of that. It was really good up until a certain word, and then it went.
Yep.
But it was... I do enjoy the voice stuff you've been doing. The stuff you've been doing on Talking Wednesday's Twitter.
Follow the Twitter account if you haven't already. I can't believe you haven't, frankly. It's a wonderful place.
Yeah.
Please follow it and be nice to keep me sane from all the random Stone Island dross that I keep seeing everywhere. Other brands are available.
I think the lowest form of content is having a football player as your... Like, people are making a career off this now, having a football player as your icon, right? And just being a bait account.
Yeah.
How are people making careers off this? It's the lowest form of engagement for me. But apparently that's what an influencer is now.
Yeah.
Apparently that's what a content creator is. I'd understand an influencer in that
because people to be idiots.
But I wouldn't say it's a content creator. They're not creating content, really, are they?
Yeah.
Anything, they're using somebody else. It's like, maybe I'm old. Maybe it's old man shouts at cloud. Half of them are in school, aren't they? So, I get it. They do it because they're probably young and they know nobody would take them seriously if they actually put their face out there. You know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Whereas nobody takes us seriously anyway, and our faces are out there. So there we go.
And the thing is, if a kid does it well and like does the short side of it, and say he gets like 10,000 views, you get like 59 quid.
Yeah, it's true.
Ooh,
that's all his pocket
that
money.
Can get me a vape and a Red Bull from Asda. Ooh.
A Prime. Be a Prime.
Oh, a Prime. Oh, I can get the new lollipop-looking Prime bottle. Oh, and not drink it and just have it on my bedroom shelf for nobody to look at other than me.
Great. Good for you, pal. You're causing all of us that are trying to do something serious a world of misery while you can enjoy your bloody red, white, and sky blue prime.
Again, this is old man shouting at cloud
Yes.
thing again, but I do really worry about the attention span. The attention span is becoming a problem.
James,
Because of
you
scroll
really want
culture.
the trigger. You really want to trigger Jack. Go into the blue version that you used to work at and record yourself on the self-checkout. He goes insane.
What's this?
You want to trigger
this?
Jack, go to where he used to work and just go on self-service or just go near the baked aisle and just send him photographs. It's glorious.
Oh, does it
Please
upset?
remove last item from bagging area. No! Just measure
Jack,
it
you worked
properly!
there for 2 minutes and you're acting like you were in World War II.
I was carrying that store on my back and I got no thanks for it. Honestly.
Were you dragging him through the trenches,
Honestly,
mate?
that baked aisle would have gone under when the previous baker retired if it wasn't for me, and I got no thanks for it. I just got told, ooh, you need to put, ooh, what about all of these? Ooh, they're not stocked enough. Okay, well, if you want to tell me how to do all of the bakery stuff, you bloody well volunteer to do it. But no, we'll give it to Jack. He's young, he's fit, he can run around like a headless chicken, picking up all of our slack. Yes. Ah. So, yeah, shall we? God damn it, Jake.
This is from the
James hates
start.
me, I'm
Sheffield
sorry.
Wednesday link with move for goal score. God's sake, you're ruining all of my segues today, boys. Jesus.
I hope this
Right,
is all staying in
reset,
because this is
because if
comedy
these
gold.
are breakouts, we can't be like just
Go.
going into them hilariously laughing. This is from the Star. Sheffield Wednesday linked with move for goal-scoring attacking midfielder in Sweden. Reports in Sweden have linked Sheffield Wednesday with a move for Ghanaian midfielder Michael Baidu. Baidu? Football Direct reported today that the Owls have joined Baidu's list of admirers as he continues his form from 2023 and 2024. And it may be that of Danny Rule's looks to try and bring him on board ahead of Wednesday's 24-25 championship campaign. The website stated the likes of Maccabi Haifa, Lugarets, Ferencvaros, Hull City, Middlesbrough, NSC Nijmegen, and Luton
Nijmegen.
Town have all shown an interest in the 25-year-old, while Leicester City are said to be keeping an eye on him as well. With 7 goals and assists in 12 Allsvenskan games so far this season, it's no surprise to see the Ghanaian youth international making his way onto the radars around Europe. However, Elfsborg's reported valuation of 3 to 4 million euros may be a sticking point to some of those said to be interested. So, Jake,
He's good.
it's a player.
He's
We're
good
linked
player.
again.
He's a good player. He's seen some of his clips. And I think with this one, it shows you the ambition and how we're probably going to play. You've seen clips of him and how he wants to get the midfield going. Again, it's a midfielder as well. It's where we're short. Is he 25?
25, yep. So he's that,
Yeah,
he's that
so
age of
he
development.
fits that bracket of player we're looking at. And again, I keep getting people go, oh, he's 3 to 4 million. We're not going to pay that then, are we? It's like, no one thought we were going to get a PSG or a Monaco player in last season, but we did. I think you got to take away this whole, well, he cost in that much, we're not going to get him in. Just because we didn't do that last season doesn't mean it's not going to happen this season. And also, can people remember how transfers work? You don't pay transfers all the money at once. They're always in installments. Like, nearly always.
Well, they want
installments.
above market value for him because his reported market value is only about €2.5 million. So if that is correct, then they're wanting above market value.
You do 2.5 to 3, and then you give them a 30% sell-on fee, like we've done with like Gassama.
That's top. I reckon you go in at 2 personally.
Yeah, he's a good player though. He fits that kind of tricky midfielder we need.
Again, though, does he fit more of a? Would you say he's more of a central midfielder or a 10?
He's more of a central midfielder that can play into a 10. Does that make sense?
He's
where you can
effectively
get
what
it
George
in-
Byers was
yeah.
for us in League One, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that would make sense. That's the sort of player we're looking at, an improved George Byers. He doesn't have much to his, because he's obviously. I've heard of a few of these teams. So he started at Vision in his youth career, but then he went to Midtjylland. I've heard of them, but he only made 1 appearances with loans to Frederica and Gerve, where he made 16 appearances and 40 appearances at Gerve, scoring 6 goals.
He's very much been on the
Then he signed for them
Scandinavian
permanently.
continent.
Yeah, fair enough. He signed for them permanently, then didn't play after that. Signed for Sandnes Ulf and made 29 appearances, scoring 4 goals. And at Elfsborg, where he's been and he currently is, he's made 58 appearances, scored 17 goals. So he's coming into his own there. And he's also represented Ghana for under 20s, but that was back in 2016. So he's not a current international. But the way he seems to be one of those players that to be honest, I've got no idea, boys. I don't think any of us could say we've seen. You might have seen clips. We might have looked at clips, but in terms of general, we don't watch the league.
I spoke to my uncle's friends who are over in Sweden, and they said he's a very good player who needs to be put under a manager that can look after him. He's a raw talent in Sweden. He's really good. And he fits it. But if he goes anywhere else, he might be classed as like a raw talent, if that makes sense. That kind of thing, where you give a bit of guidance, it will make sense. But again, it's a bit midfield. It's the midfield where now you're looking if Byers are gone, Vaulks gone, we're short. We need to. But if you look at that midfield, we're going to need players around the 25 to 26 age and then 21 to 24. So your 25 to 26 are your first teamers and your 21 to 24 for your quad depth players.
What do you think, Jack, on this one?
I couldn't really say any more than Jake there. I just totally agree. I think as well, if we've got clubs like Leicester who are keeping an eye on him, although, granted, I think sometimes clubs like to throw their name in there just to kind of ruffle the feathers of the transfer market, if you like. If there's clubs like Leicester that are keeping their eye on him, then I think it's probably worth us going for him. And yes, we can just look at clips, and that's basically just the highlights of a player. But considering how good he is in those clips, I think it might be worth giving him a scout, giving him a bit of an assessment.
I think it's just, I'm not surprised we're being linked with as many midfielders as we are, because it's a position, especially with Vaulks on the way out, that we need to strengthen. So
fun little.
It would make sense. I would say though, there is some names in there like Luton Town, for example, who would potentially be stiff competition for him, especially as it looks like they're about to lose Barkley.
Yep.
I wouldn't be worried about Hull as much anymore. I would have been if they'd have kept their manager.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced.
I think Luton, you've got to think they've got parachute payments, so they could just pay 5 million and just
exactly. That's the thing. But that's a big gamble, actually. Whereas I think you don't go for the bigger gamble. You go for. I think he would fit quite well, in terms of what we need there. It's worth a punt, right? However, it's not worth a €4 million punt. But if Danny wants to do that, I trust this structure that we've got at the club. I keep saying this. I trust the process, because we might as well bloody trust it, because
I won't lie.
I hate that. Worked.
I hate that phrase just because of what Arsenal fans have done to that phrase. Trust the process.
Yeah, that's true. Because none of them trusted it until recently. But let's do the FIFA thing. He's a rare silver, guys. 81 pace. He's a pace merchant. He's also got quick step play style, so he's actually usable. 56 shooting, 61 passing, 68 dribbling, 50 defending, 59 physical. 3-star. I'd be very much using him and evoing him. I can't see the best of all times because I'm not logged into the site at the minute, but he's had some good evo paths there, and I think Jack would be absolutely thrilled to use him within FIFA. Let us know what you think about Beidou and the potential.
If it's career mode, yes.
In the comments.
I only play career mode anyway, but yes.
Yeah, that's fair. I used to. And then career mode just broke this year.
Yeah. So FIFA, that website, So FIFA, excellent for looking at player potential and all that stuff. Yeah.
No, I used to use that when I just played career, but I don't just play career anymore.
I can see the comment now. Oh, they're talking about the football game.
Oh, they're talking about that football game again.
Sorry, James, you're about to do another one. Sorry, mate.
Yes.
No, it's all right. We've got lag as well. It's fine. So it looks like Leeds are going to be. They have released Jan Poveda. He will be a free agent. There's going to be competition for him. Are you confident on us getting him, Jack?
Yes. I don't really know what other to say than yes. Because there were Twitter rumours that allegedly he was already in Sheffield a few weeks ago, with lots of Twitter rumours of having sighted Jan Poveda, allegedly. So I can just see him being very quickly snapped up if this is the case. I can't really see him going anywhere else. Sorry that was really blunt and concise, but, that's just...
Jake, what do you think?
I think we are going to get him. And by the time it sounds like we've already held talks with potentially bringing him in. I think the fact that he played here last season helps. I think the fact that Danny was the one who wanted him when some of the deals went a bit awry in January, that helped as well. You put this player with a full preseason to play how Danny plays, I don't think you get as many muscle injuries like he's had because he's been out of a squad and not done anything. I think you manage it well, and a free agent, I can't see him wanting that much wages, to be honest with you. I think this is one that needs to get done soon.
The injury is what makes him a Sheffield Wednesday player because of the injury he had last season. Because you think about clubs, I don't think would want to whack a lot of money on the table for him if he's not shown that he can stay fit. Whereas Wednesday probably won't whack a load of money on there. Makes sense. He wants to come here. He wants to work under the manager. The fans have taken to him. It's not like, I don't think a club are going to come and put loads more money than Wednesday are because of the injury last season. So I think that plays into our hands in terms of, he's not really going to have his head turned by money in that sense, because I think we will be very close to other offers he's got. And for me, and probably for him, it's a no-brainer that he ends up signing for Sheffield Wednesday. Watch that not happen now, but he will be a joy to watch under Danny Rule's system if we get this working. So
I think
if
the
we
big
can keep him
thing
fit,
with
we can sort it out.
A lot of players in this squad, new and old, a Danny Rule preseason will do on the world of good. We did look at not Poveda, Paul Valentin didn't have a preseason, came in fit. Watch him have a preseason and come good. So I think you get them used to the intense style of play we're going to do, and I think it's going to help a lot.
Yeah, I agree. Let's just keep our fingers crossed that Jan Poveda is again a Wednesday player. Hey, it'd be really good, wouldn't it, if he was actually in Sheffield for a photo shoot of the new kit, and we've already sorted it out.
Not a bad shout.
And all of a sudden, he's announced with the kit reveal like we've done in the past with players.
That would be good.
Yeah, be quite cool. This is from the Star, but it actually started with a French tweet from a French outlet. The Star reads as follows. Danny Rule may be honing in on his first permanent Sheffield Wednesday signing transfer, with reports in France claiming one of his former charges has agreed terms to join the Owls. Wednesday are expected to be busy this summer, with Rule having made no secret of desire to get the bulk of his transfer business done as soon as possible in order to give himself the best possible opportunity to further bed in his ideas in pre-season. It appears, I'm paraphrasing now because there's quite a bit of filler in this bit. It appears that the German's former Southampton colleague, Jan Valery, could well be lined up for a switch to Hillsborough, with respected outlet L'Equipe claiming he has agreed terms to join the club, leaving Wednesday and current side Angers to flesh out a transfer deal. The report suggested the two sides are in negotiations and that recently promoted League One side are willing sellers. Valery is only 25 and has been the most commonly used attacking-minded right-back, though he can deputise as a right-sided midfielder or a centre-half. Listed as 6'1", the defender who played for France at youth level, but since switched his allegiances to Tunisia, for whom he has 8 caps, he was on the bench for their 1-0 World Cup qualifying win over Equatorial Guinea this week. He made 35 appearances for Angers as they were promoted as runners-up in League 2 last season, collecting 5 assists. After coming through the youth ranks at Rennes, Southampton snapped him up as a teenager in 2018, shortly before Rull arrived as assistant to Ralph Hasenhüttl. Valery made his Premier League debut just a couple of weeks before Rull's arrival at St Mary's and became a mainstay in the side that pulled off a remarkable survival effort that season. He tallies 43 Premier League appearances in total and played 7 times in the Championship during a loan spell at Birmingham City. I remember this player very, very well. I think Jack will also agree. He was a Football Manager gem. Do you remember that?
Absolutely.
You're talking about Football Manager again, but he was.
Oh, the Football Manager 2019. He was the one that you absolutely needed to snap up in the Championship for the
exactly
a really good development.
And we'll start with you then, Jack, because of the Football Manager link. What do you think about Sheffield Wednesday potentially looking like he's going to be our first permanent signing?
And see me. You see, with the competition that we've got in terms of signing him and stuff, I see this situation a little bit like the dating scene in your 20s. You don't really want to find a partner who other people that are in competition with you don't fancy themselves. So it's similar to the transfer strategy. You don't want to be going for players that your peers or rivals don't also want to sign themselves, because if you're going for somebody that nobody finds attractive, then like they're not really going to be any good in your 20s anyway. So it's a bit similar in this football transfer sense. I think that he's ideally a sort of very good prospect for us and would offer a lot of attacking prowess going forwards as well as his defensive capabilities. And I just think it's a no-brainer, really, given that he's 25 as well, and that's bringing the age down. I have
no idea what you were getting at with the first half of that section, by the way, just to clarify.
It also pretty much allows the theory that we had, given that we've already got Paul Valentin in the right-back position, and we've already got Liam Palmer in the right-back position. It suggests that Liam Palmer could be making a move to being that sort of anchor man in the centre of midfield going forwards and replacing Will Vaulks in that position.
That's my thought process as well on that. It frees it up and you bring somebody in that's going to... Because also, Palmer's not going to be with us forever. He's getting on in footballing terms. So 25 again, that's what sticks out to me, Jake. 25 for Jan Valery. Your thoughts?
We're bringing the age of the squad down. It's someone who's already worked with Danny, who's actually said publicly that Danny did a lot for him while he was at Southampton. He had a serious illness of glandular fever, which cut him down a little bit.
I've had that.
Yeah, it's not fun, is it?
Helps you lose weight.
I did. I lost loads of weight.
It's a bit like swallowing a tapeworm. It's one of these alternative methods of getting fit. Anyway, sorry, Jake.
He fits what we're looking at. And the thing is, with this one, have you noticed in football recently as well, where it gets the players agreed, but we have to then wait for the club to agree? Now, it used to be you had to agree a fee with the club and then you could speak to the player. With Valery, he's agreed already to come. We just have to speak to the club and get a deal sorted, which I think is probably doable. I think his market value is about 2 million. I think that's roughly about it.
Which transfer market is indeed.
For a 25-year-old. And I think if it's someone who's already worked with Danny and knows how he works, you're not going to have that issue of trying to get used to the setup and how to do. Granted, I know that was a Rasselhooten side, but it's very similar. He probably picked up very similar patterns with how they train and get things done, if that makes sense.
Lads, I have a theory.
Go on.
I think our budget is actually bigger than most people are anticipating, because if you look at the amount of players we're linked for transfer fees, and it seems like we're in talks with them, it's already over 10 million.
Yeah.
I think it's bigger. I think it's a lot bigger than I reckon we might. Yeah, I think we might be actually going for it.
I think
we've got no money. Chansiri's run out of money. Oh, he's got no money. According to several people in their various comment sections.
It depends on where he gets the money from. Looking for investors, etc., isn't it? So
yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, because let's just go with the theory that with us looking at people, there's a little bit more than there was last year. Let's go with that, because if we're apparently looking at Ugbo and Ugbo 5 million, when you hear about us like looking at Valery, or when we looked at the midfielder from Sweden, Badu or whatever his name,
Yeah.
Badu.
Baidu.
They're about 5 and 6 million. Well, you've got 7 million or so there going. It's like we've got to have something more than last season, and people are forgetting something. I made it very clear last season on the podcast repeatedly. Staying up was crucial because of the TV money from Guy. We have a huge chunk of that come, which is going to help.
When Moore was sacked, I was saying that we can't fall. The gap is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and we can't fall. That's why it was crucial we stayed up in terms of because you can talk about going down's great for a rebuild, but actually, if you rebuild at the bottom of the championship, you're actually in a better position if you do it right.
If you're a Birmingham like now, a rebuild for them is perfect because they got the money with their ownership to put into it and do it properly. Where if you do a rebuild where you might not have as much money as them, it makes it harder. It's doable, but it's a lot harder. And I think you look at what been said about where we're aiming for, like top 8, that we're going to want to improve the squad with different kind of players. And this one is one of those ones, if Danny's already worked with him and he knows what kind of player he is, it gives you options with both Paul and Valery because they're both right backs. I'd like to see us linked with some left backs soon, please, because Christ, we haven't got any. So that'd be nice. But you look at the positions that have been linked at, and also when a player's linked, have a look if they've got any history with any of the backroom coaching staff. Because what I've noticed recently, a lot of players we bring in have some sort of connection with somebody in that backroom staff somewhere along their career. So the sale pitch has already been
backs, done. Ryan Sessegnon, just saying, by the way.
I love it.
Released.
I think he'll go Europe.
You're really going for it? Yeah, probably. No, I think he'd be great because it's more of a case if he can play in the midfield, he can play right back, he can play centre back. He's obviously going to be playing for us at right back, you would assume. But again, we're losing Bernard. Does he end up going in that centre back role if we need it? You know, if we do lose Bernard, there's options there with him. We will do the FIFA card because we always do, and this one's a good one. 71 rated silver is one of our higher rated players. Jack's ecstatic. 66 pace, 52 shooting, 63 passing, 69 dribbling, 71 defending, and 72 physical with the jockey play style.
Can we have something for Jack when you do the FIFA card?
He's
and
also,
if you don't want to know the EAFC card, please, Jack, look away now.
He's also got a 76 potential rating on career mode currently.
Tell you what, that can be your bit. You can do that. You can be the old career. You can do my old career mode stuff.
FIFA this morning.
You know one thing that is.
So even you're excited about the virtual player.
You know how we spoke about the midfield being quite light. You know if Bernard and Iorfa don't sign, that's not much better.
Well, I could sit. We just need to put the money into it then. But then you think about it, if players go, it does free up wages as well. So there is both sides to it. But for me, Valery is a no-brainer if you can get him for around that sort of money. He's got experience. Let's actually have a full look at his history. So he was at Southampton for 4 years, made 43 appearances, 2 goals. That was 2018 to 2022. He went on loan to Birmingham City, made 7 appearances there, and he's been at Angus since 2022. And made 48 appearances for them. Current international, but he's he has got promoted. He only did. However, why can I hear myself? What are you doing? He's only made. Is that true? Did he only make 3 appearances last season? Is that true?
Sure.
Because that's not ideal if he only made 3 appearances. No. Actually, also, that's not this season. I just don't think his page has been updated. Hang on. Because it says here, his last season he played, that can't be right. No, that's not right. That's not right. Somebody's not doing their job. Us, because I've got the wrong page up. But also, yeah, nobody's updated his Wikipedia, which is usually good for appearances. I'll actually go on something more reliable. He made...
Transfer market.
Yeah. He made... Is it 35? 35 last season. 5 goals, by the looks of it.
That's not
That's
bad
much
for a right
better.
back either. How many assists did he get? 5 goals is decent for a right back.
No, it's not 5 goals. It's 5 assists. Ignore me.
5 assists.
It's 5 assists.
To be fair, 5 assists ain't bad
I was reading the
either.
wrong icon.
To be
5
fair,
assists
5
isn't bad
assists
at
ain't
all.
bad.
No, 35 appearances, 5 assists. Yeah, no, I agree. So, it's a no-brainer for me. Why don't you come over, Val? Why don't you... I messed it up. Why don't you come on over, Valery?
Well,
There
that's
we
the
go.
song automatically.
That's it, boys. That's all I've got this week.
Yeah.
Anything to add, Jack?
No, not really. No, it's just one of them periods of eager for business to be done. But don't forget, moves can't be made until the 1st of July, because that's when everybody's contract runs out. So transfers can't officially actually happen and go through whatever until the end of this month. So stop getting your knickers in a twist about, oh, they're doing business.
Oh, by the way, I've just read, as of 3 hours ago, it looks like Angers have agreed for the deal for Valery.
Oh.
Yeah, they agreed to a deal, haven't they? It looks like he's coming in.
Yeah, it looks that way.
That's
There we
good.
go.
Yeah, that'll be good. But yes, Jake, anything to add? As I've
I
really
don't want
cut
to
Jack off.
I'll be honest with you, I just want to apologise to you, mate, for the cuts in this because of dad life and stuff, because it's going to be a bit of a nightmare of edit, so I apologise for that, mate. But
That's
I'm
all right.
trying
I
to
didn't
make
need a
it work.
weekend.
I'm trying to make it
Sounds so
work.
passive. I am joking. I'm not this passive aggressive.
No. But I am trying to make it work. As the boys know, come some point this year, I'm going to have to change things around children, which people understand. And I'm just appreciate to have 2 mates who allow me to be able to do this and understand it and just not be like, oh, you've done this. It's like, so I appreciate it, boys. So thank you.
That's all right. Oh, bless. That sounds so patronising. I need to stop talking now because I'm quite giddy because I've had a bit of sugar before this podcast, so I'm being a 5-year-old and I'm full of energy. So go and enjoy your weekend, boys. Thank you so much for everybody that's watching this. The Euros are coming up. Hopefully we've got a little bit of giddiness coming on, even though that England performance recently won't have filled us with too much optimism. But that's all I've got for this week's episode of Talking Wednesday, guys. Take care, and we will see you in the next episode of Talking Wednesday.
See ya.
See you later.